The Need for Speed Underground 2 demo offered a great preview for the upcoming sequel to the ever popular Need for Speed Underground game that was released prior to the game's release in 2004, and how you got access to this demo if you managed to pre-order the game in local game stores, or in some cases if you went into your local games or electronics stores, you would be able to get access to free copies of the demo disc. You would just usually have to ask someone behind the counter if they had any copies of the game available, and if you were lucky enough to get your hands on it, you would get a taste for one of what is quite possibly one of the most popular racing games ever created on any system, as even to this day this is still classed to be one of the most popular Need for Speed games in existence, as the final game offered so much value. It built on the original tenfold, as it moved away from just the standard races to more of an open world type of play style. Now, you still had all of the race events that were in the original game, with the likes of the drag racing events and the standard races, but in this game you had more features and modes available. While you can also drift your cars around corners, there was even specific events that were catered towards drifting, which was a nice touch. So the demo gave you access to a partial section of the city that you would end up playing on, and what was pretty cool about it is that you had the ability to interact with the environment. You could go to certain shops or different establishments and you could play around with certain features. Now, they were limited and some of them were unlocked for use, like you could gain access to a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7, and even you could upgrade or customize some of the features on the car, even to a point where you could change out the standard car for a ready built modified car, which was pretty cool. There were other features that were in some of the options or shops, but again they were locked for the full game, but it still gave you an idea of what was to come. And even going back to my own personal experience with this demo, I managed to get a copy of it in one of the local games and electronics stores close to my home, and they had access to a few copies of the game, so you managed to get your hands on the demo for free, which was really cool. And I remember being all excited to play it because I absolutely loved the previous Need for Speed Underground game, as I had it on the PS2 and I also had a copy of it on the Nintendo GameCube, and I played it for ages. I absolutely loved it. So when I got access to this demo, I have to say I was very impressed with everything that was on offer. There was so much variety, and you could literally just play the demo itself just for hours, just driving around the roads. You had, within the area that you had access to, you had total freedom to move around at your leisure. You could get access to some of the additional mods, some of the customized features, plus you could engage in different races and you could go back to them time and again. And it also gave you access to some other cool features where you could go to certain points and take camera photos of specific angles of the car, which would then be published to, like, say a car magazine or a modified car magazine, which was a pretty cool feature, as if you were into cars or modified cars back then, or if you were into the likes of car movies, likes of the Fast and the Furious, which most of us would have been back in the early 2000s, car magazines would have been a really big thing in your local news agents, as people would have always been looking for the latest trending ideas of how much they could customize a car by adding more power to it, adding a visual style to it. Everyone was always trying to make their own car very custom and unique to them and their own styles and tastes. So playing a game like this here allowed you to do that in a virtual sense, where you could create some really cool and customized versions of the cars that were available in the game. So with this demo, it really did just give you a preview for what was to come. But I do remember myself, when I had access to this demo, myself and my brothers and some of my friends played this demo for ages. And even going back to even playing games like, say, even on the old PS1, this was one of the first few demos on the PS2 that I got equally as much enjoyment out of playing as I did out of the full game, as I played it just nearly just as long, because I was so excited to get to play it. And the fact is that you got access to a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7 from the get-go, just in the demo alone, was the icing on the cake. So for a demo itself, it provided so much value, and you don't often see that with demos today, really, as such. Even with modern games, they don't offer the same level of depth or value that games of old used to. But this is a true testament to just showcase how good Need for Speed Underground 2 was and still is, even by today's standards. Even though there is better looking games out now today, but this game still holds true to how good it is, and that it's just as playable now as it ever was. Whether you are playing the demo or playing the full game, you know rightly well that you're going to have one of the best experiences of a racing game on any console. It really is that good, and it was great to go back and to play this demo all over again, as it brought back so many fond memories of all the hours and fun times that I had and put in when I was playing it back in the day. So it's an excellent title for sure, and if you are into racing games, you definitely need to try out this sequel, as it's one of the most iconic racing games ever made. And I'd love to know your thoughts on Need for Speed Underground 2. Did you play the full game, or did you play the demo like myself back in the day? And if so, did you enjoy playing it, and what stories do you have to share about the demo itself? I'd love to hear them, so be sure to share them down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content around specific demo discs or even other types of racing games that were also released on the PS2 back in the day, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated when future videos are released. And also be sure to check out this playlist here on screen of other racing games that I cover on the channel that were also released on the system back in the day. So be sure to check them out, and I will see you all over in the next one.